Hi guys, this is Emmanuel, and in this lesson, I've provided some video tutorial on Unit 13, which is titled Web Development. And to be honest with you, this is just an introduction to web page development. And so our topic, therefore, is to create a simple web page. A simple web page. Now, objectives for today. By the end of the lesson today, I will expect every one of you to be able to draw or to design a simple web page. And after drawing the simple web page, I want you to be able to implement that simple web page or create that simple web page using CSS and HTML. Now, to design a web page simply means to draw, to provide a kind of blueprint of how your web page will look like. And then to implement it simply means to create it. And we're going to be using the CSS and the HTML technologies. Those two technologies will be used in creating the web page. Now, there's important keywords I wanted to learn. HTML. What exactly do we mean by HTML? HTML means Hypertext Markup Language. Okay? And CSS means Cascading Style Sheet. Okay? Now, in your exam, I may ask you to define or to tell me the meaning of HTML. All you have to write is a Hypertext Markup Language. And please remember, Hypertext Markup Language is the language of the web. It's actually used for creating a web page. It's the only language we know we can use in creating a web page. Now, the CSS will be used in formatting the web page, although you can use the CSS to create the layout of your web page as well. Okay, for instance, you can create the header, the navigation bar, the sidebar, the content area, and of course the footer of your web page using CSS. I'll teach you how to do all these things as we progress. Now, property and values are the elements you will find in CSS, and I will explain that very shortly. So, but before we continue, we have some basic tags which you must always remember to use. And these basic tags, basically, they've got to be organized. They are organized in a particular way. Now, the basic tags normally will occur in PS, that is, in tools, usually called the start tag and then the ending tag. For instance, this is the start tag for HTML. And this is the ending tag for that same HTML. The difference between the two, as you can see, is that one is got a /, the ending is got a /. Okay, and in between, whatever you type, all other HTML tags normally will be written between the HTML itself tag and its ending. Okay, so and this is followed by the head tag. The head tag starts from there and ends there. In between the head tag, you have the title tag. The title tag starts from there and ends there. I'm writing it to the side of the head tag here because I just want to, keep everything within a page. Alternatively, you may want to put your title tag, the two, you may put it in between. Your head tag starting from there and then the ending there. Okay. Now, immediately after the head tag, you have the body tag. Okay, and that will be the last there. So this is the basic HTML tags. So in your exam, in your test, if I ask you to write down the basic tags, you must be able to write this offhand without looking at it. Please remember, all other tags, HTML tags will be contained within the doctype HTML tag and its ending. Okay. And you've got to organize them in a sequence. You can't mix them up. If you mix them up, you're more likely going to get some errors. So, in the first you will type is head tag. Start from here and end. Immediately after, in between the head tag, we have the title tag, and immediately after the head tag, we have the body tag. Please look at it very carefully and make sure you understand it. Now, the CSS has got a syntax. The syntax is the way we normally write it. There's a format for writing CSS. And the moment you understand the format of writing CSS. The rest is quite easy to do. Usually we have the selector. The selector basically is what you actually want to format. For instance, we want to format the heading here. This is why we're writing H1. And then you open up a brace in front of it and then close the brace. Right here, you type your property. This can be color. It may not necessarily be the color. It might be the color background. It might be the font size. It might be the font. It might be the color background. It might be anything there, actually. Okay. And immediately after the color basically is just an attribute. It's the field. You put a colon there, and then the property, the property value should be written. For instance, instead of writing blue for my value here, I can as well put a yellow. I can put red. I can put any color of my choice, and then that line will be finished using a semicolon. Then you write the next one. So you can put this on another line, but please make sure every line ends with a semicolon, as you can see here. Okay, so please don't forget, you must be able to write this off head. The selector is what we actually want to format. Sometimes you might want to format the paragraph. So in that case, that would be P instead of H1. Sometimes you might want to format the body. Then your selector will be body. Okay, and all your formatting, the property and the values, you write them within the brace. And please remember to follow the punctuation. This is very important. Okay, having said this, the next thing we're going to do is we've got to design the web page we actually want to create. Now I have drawn one here. Now this is the web page we want to create. We want our web page to have a navigation bar. We want to tile up, insert images and tile them up like that. And at the bottom of each image, we want to have a kind of a text area where we can put maybe the price, the specification, and so on, everything about each image. So we just want to have a kind of a text area at the bottom. And then at the end of the page, we're going to have our footer. Inside the footer, we're going to be typing design by Emmanuel. Or you can say copyright at Derby College. Design by Emmanuel. Okay, put your name, that's the footer. So the header, the images you want to insert, the text area for each image, and then the footer. Now to draw this is quite easy. To draw this design is quite easy. I'm going to demo that very quickly. It doesn't take me 2 minutes to do. Let me open another fresh blank page. So I can show you how to, draw a simple web page before you actually start implementing it. So the easiest thing to do is just click on insert and click on the table and then pick the pencil there. You can draw your heading like that, and then you can go down and draw your footer there. Okay, so you see how easy it is. And now you can, instead of using pencil now, I can use auto shape. So you go on insert tab and click on shapes, and then you can click on a square there and then position it right there. Now this is blue. You can, you may decide to, change it to any other color of your choice. I'm just going to use blue there, and then copy and paste several times. So that's one image, image 2, image 3, image 4, and then arrange them. See how easy it is. Okay, and for my text boxes, I just have to do the same. So I just copy them, copy everything, and paste, and then move them down there. See that? And then I'm going to resize them appropriately. Job done. All I have to do now is just type image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, and that's quite easy to do. So you see the design doesn't take me time, so you have to label it. For instance, this has to be labeled. You can label the title. This is the navigation. This is the navigation bar. Okay, so let me format that using Century Gothic. Okay, so this is my navigation bar, and the next one, I will right click on this and click on add text, and this will be my image number 1. I'm just gonna copy that, right click, add text, image 2, right click, add text, image 3, right click, add text, image 4, and this will be my text. So I just click on add text, text area 1, and then you can copy that, right click, add text, text area 2. See how easy it is. Add text, text area 3, and then right click, add text, text area 4, and here you have your footer. So see, I finished the design. Then you can label it if you want. So you're going to be designing, because sometimes you may be required to design a web page. This has to be drawn just the same way I've done it now, very quickly, and you've got to label it because we want to know what those drawing, what they mean. Okay, so that's all. You may want to format the text by clicking on that and click on Format Painter, add Format Painter, Format Painter. See, this is not going to take time. 5 minutes, I'm done. Then click on Format Painter, and Format Painter, Format Painter, Format Painter. See? Okay, so we finish our design. The next thing we're going to do, you can do the mock-up if you want, but at the moment, this is just a skeletal drawing of my design. We're going to be implementing this. So the next thing we're going to do is we'll go onto our, maybe my document folder. It's up to you to decide. Go straight to your document folder. Let me close this. And create a folder. Okay, already I've created a folder here. Let me just create a folder, right click and click on folder, and then type computer website, or you can say computer sales. I can give it a suitable name. Computer sales web pages. Okay, and then you got to get suitable images you'll be using. Now I've got some images here, so I'm just gonna copy all of them. Let me copy all of them and put them inside a folder. So these are the images we want to use. Please note, these images, they are PNG. Their extensions are PNG. It doesn't necessarily have to be PNG. You can have a JPG image if you're familiar with the various file extensions for images, okay, or BMP. So now this is where we're going to put our home page. Now all of your web pages must reside, they must be in the same folder as your images. Okay, so what are we to do? The next thing to do is to use Notepad++. Now, if you do not have Notepad++ installed on your computer or your laptop at home, simply go onto the internet and go on Google and type Notepad++. Download. Just press enter and you will see it there. You download it. You can download the first release, the release there, but you click on it by downloading it. Alternatively, you can click there, and when you finish downloading it, double click it and install it and follow the on-screen instructions. If you do that successfully, you should have your Notepad++ installed. It's very easy to install. So you now go to your search bar and type Notepad++. So this is Notepad++. Double click that. It's going to take you to this blank environment here. This is where we're going to be typing our HTML tags. This is where we're going to be writing all our codes basically. Now we're going to type the basic code. And to type the basic code, like I told you, you've got to start with the doc type. Okay. Use the less than, greater than, or whatever you may want to call it. So this is the start tag for my HTML and the ending for that. See the difference between the two? This has got a / in addition to the less than and the greater than in front of it. So the start and the end. Okay, so in between, as a matter of fact, all other tags will be written between the HTML tag itself and its ending. Okay, every other tag will be in between. So your web page code must always start with that and end with that. Any other coding will go in between. Please take note of that. So the next tag in between we're going to be typing is the head. The head tag. And this is the ending for my head. Now, in between the head, we have the title. And then the ending for my title. Okay. Now, because we're going to be typing some code there, so let's move the title to the side here. But please note, the title normally will be in between the head. So immediately after the head, we have the body. And then the ending for my body. Okay, so this is the basic tag we need to write. Please look at it very carefully. You're going to be doing a simple test for me later, and I'm going to ask you to write the basic tag. What you see here is known as the basic tag. Okay. Oh, actually the head, I forgot. Oh yeah, the head is there already. So the head starts from here and ends there. The body starts from here and ends here. Okay, sometimes you may want to include HTML per se. See, immediately I added the HTML, you see the line joined, because we only added this we added the doc type so that so as to inform the HTML editor that look, this is a web page. That's why we've included the doc type HTML. But the actual HTML tag, the start tag, is that one, and it ends here. Okay, so look at it very carefully. Anytime I ask you to write a simple HTML tag, basic tag, you know exactly what to write. Now we're going to be putting all our information in the body. Let's start with the header. I'm going to be typing the header tag. The header tag H1, and the header tag ends with H1. Okay, so this is my start and this is my ending. Now what I'm going to be typing, whatever you type in between the start and the ending will appear exactly like that on the web page. For instance, let's type this is my first web page. Okay, now if I copy that and paste this 6 times, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to be editing. Let's change this to 2, and then change the next one to 3, and then change the next one to 4, and then change the next one to 5, and then change the next one to 6. Okay, we need the ending also need to be edited. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have a look at it. Now we're going to publish this. How do we publish this? You need to save it. Click on save, and you need, where it says save as type, you will open the drop down and locate where HTML is. You see hypertext markup, you select that, and then your file name, give it a name, index dot. You need to remember to put the dot, otherwise the dot HTML extension is very important to make it a web page basically. And then you need to save it, locate where your file, the folder is. So let me go up to my desktop and locate where I have computer sales. You see computer sales web pages, so you double click that and save it inside. Okay, so now I have my web page there. Inside my computer sales web page is there. So now if I want to view this, I can double click it. Alternatively, you can right click. You can use a different browser if you want. Right click on it and go on open with. You can use Google Chrome if you want. Alternatively, you can click on Internet Explorer or use Microsoft Edge. Now let's use Microsoft Edge as our browser. See, so currently this is what we have, the text we have on our web page. As you can see, the text enclosed using H1 is the biggest of them all and is the boldest, as you can see, followed by H2 tag, and then H3 tag, H4 tag. In fact, H6 is the smallest. Okay, the tag with the biggest subscript has the smallest font, as you can see. Okay, so now we will be using H1 therefore, because it's a little bit big, and since we want to use this in creating our header, so we probably use H1 for it. So I'm gonna go back, don't close it. I'm gonna go back to my notepad, and now since H1 is the biggest, we're gonna remove the rest, and we're going to be editing this. Let's edit this as our navigation bar. Remember, as part of the features of a web page, I taught you in the class that every web page has a navigation bar, and the navigation bar usually contains the home, the about, the contact, the news, download, and so on. So we're going to be creating that navigation. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to type home space, and then press down the Control Alt on your keyboard and press that button with this character, the vertical broken character, and then space. And I'm going to be typing, I will type about, space, Control Alt, press down the vertical broken character, space, and then I'm going to type contact, and Control Alt, and you probably may want to put the news, and so on. So this is what we want to use, the text we want for our menu, our navigation menu. So now if I save this and go back to my web page and refresh, this is what we have. So but now, as you can see, this is too bold, it's too big. We're going to follow the background. We're going to change the font so that it's normal, because it's too heavy as it is now, and then we're probably going to move this forward. All right, so we're going to do a lot of formatting. We reduce the font size, the font style, and so on. We're going to be changing that, and for us to be able to do this effectively, we're going to be using the CSS. So what am I going to do? I'll go straight to the head of my code and type style, because we're going to be using style. Please always remember to type style tag for you to use CSS, and then the ending. Remember I said they always occur in pairs. This is the ending for my style. So in between my style, I will be typing my CSS. We want to format H1, so you type H1 first, and then open the brace. Remember the syntax I taught you. Your selector, open brace, and then you can type inside. Follow the punctuation mark. So let's arrange them like this. So I'm going to type background color. Okay, remember the punctuation, you have to put colon. Okay, let's put blue for a start and put semicolon. Okay, and then if I run this now, the background color should be there. If I save this now and then go back to the page and refresh, so this is what I have, but it's not looking so good. What I'm going to do now, instead of writing color here, instead of writing blue here, it is always good to optimize your web page. So to optimize my web page, I'm going to be using code for blue. You do not have to memorize the code. You can just go on the internet and type, go on Google, and on getting Google, type HTML. Get into Google, type HTML color chart. Okay, HTML color charts. So you click on color chart here. Got loads of them there. It's easy. So, but I prefer to use this. So now I want to use something slightly different. I'm going to click on that, click on it, and then the X will change. Where it says X, copy that code. You don't have to memorize it, but if you can memorize it, it's okay. But I'm not going to ask you to memorize it, so I will use that. Now I want a color contrast. For the color of my font, I will type color, and I basically want this to be white. So I'll go back to my color chart and click on white, copy the hex code for my color, go back to my code and paste. Remember, you have to end the line using a semicolon. So if I save this now and go to my web page, which is this one here, and refresh, this is what I have. It's looking good, but now what are we gonna do? The height of this bar is too small, so we want to increase the height a little bit. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go there and type height. I will make it 80 pixels, px, and then type semicolon. Okay, so if I save this now and refresh, you see it's good, is looking good. Now I want all of these menu items to move down to the middle, because as you can see, everything appears to be aligned to the top, but we want it to move to the middle, so we will use what we call line height. Okay, we increase the line height so that the text moves to the middle. So I'm going to go back to my code and type line height, and I'm gonna make this 80 pixels. Okay, let's make it 70 pixels, semicolon. Okay, the line height now, let's refresh, is looking good. It's now at the middle. Now if you look at the font is too heavy. Okay, and we also need to change the font style. You can use any font style of your choice. For instance, you can use Tahoma, you can use Perpetua, you can use Romance, you can use, Poor Richard. If you do not know the name of the various font styles, you can just go in here to Microsoft Word, click on Home, and then you see all different kinds of font style you can use. You can use any of those. Okay, but now I'm going to be using Century Gothic for mine. Okay, so I'll go back there and type font family. Please don't type font style, it's font family, colon. Then I'm going to type Century Gothic. You can include other fonts just in case Century Gothic is not available on the computer of your client. For instance, you can put Kandara, you can put Poor Richard, you can put Perpetua. Okay, and a lot. There's so many others. So we put semicolon there. Okay, now the font is too heavy, the one we have currently, so we want to make it a little bit light. So we type font weight. Font weight. So we make the font weight normal. Semicolon. Okay, so we save it. So it's looking nice. You see, the font is no longer heavy anymore. Okay, and it's looking very, very nice now. Please note, the font style is this is Century Gothic, and it's no longer heavy as it was before. Another thing we're going to do is, if you look at the text, they appear to be too close. So you can spread them out a little bit. Spread them out a little bit. So by putting word spacing. So I'm going to put word spacing. Word dash spacing. And I want this to be, let's say, 10 pixels. Okay, let's make it 20. Semicolon. Let's see what's going to happen. We want it to spread out a little bit. Okay, now this is good. So this is brilliant. So far so good. We've been able to create this navigation bar. But there is one more thing we can do here. The home is too close to the end. We can move it a little bit forward by adding left margin to it. So to add a left margin, I will type margin left. Okay. We do not want so So I'm just going to put, let's make it 15 pixels, semicolon. So we'll save this, go back to my page and refresh. You see, it's looking good now. So for this part 1, this is where I'm going to stop, and I expect you to create this for me. Please remember to use CSS the same way I've done it. You can watch this video as many times as you can. If there's any area not clear, please, you can pause and watch the video again. Alternatively, you can pop me an email or ask me face to face in the class. That would be great. Okay, so like we said, you create your basic tag, arrange them in order, and then in between the head, this is where you write your CSS. You've got to start with style, your style end here. Remember the syntax for writing the CSS, and your header is basically there. Okay, in the second part, we're going to be adding images and adding the text boxes. So as it is now, looking at our design, we've implemented the navigation bar. We've done this bit and we've done it effectively. The next one I'm going to show you in part 2, how to add these images and then add their text area. Okay, we do them one by one so that at least it will not be too boring. Thank you and good luck. Okay.